if you're a good student and you are really good at organizing your thoughts, you're really good at note-taking, that skill will impact any subject you apply that to. That's a meta skill.
Welcome to Lead Like a Magician, the show where we dive into the often changing and complex world of leadership with your host, Braden Daniels. Braden has traveled the globe educating and amazing business teams with his thought-provoking keynotes and workshops. Our host brings over 20 years of leadership experience and knowledge to help you demystify your leadership so you can empower your team to success. Get ready to take a journey of growth and insight as we unlock the secrets of leadership with the thought leader, mind reader himself, Braden Daniels.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Lead Like a Magician, where we discuss a wide range of leadership topics to grow our skill set and our mindset. I'm Braden Daniels, your guide on this journey to effective leadership. And today we will explore why leadership training is important. And here are the facts, the cold, hard facts. 60% of leaders in business today who are in positions of leadership have had no leadership training. 60% of leaders in business today have had no leadership training. 70% of employees, if you couple it with this fact, 70% of employees, according to Gallup, are disengaged. And leadership is the number one contributor to the long-term success of any organization. Yet, many organizations have no leadership training. They don't offer any. So this is a leadership crisis out there because there's so much business and opportunity, but the training has fallen way behind. And we have Ethan Bernstein of Harvard Business School. He's a professor there. And he has this to say: leaders are made, not born, and they are increasingly self-made. So if you're going to be a leader who has a career in leadership and you want to grow your career, you will need to invest in leadership because consistently opportunities are being offered where you either have to have the training before you can get the opportunity, or if you do get an opportunity within an organization, it's not guaranteed that they're going to be able to train you, to mentor you, or to groom you for a future position within that company, because it just isn't there. Now, I'll explain a little story about this type of thing, and you may have experienced this. But let's just say Jane, who's really successful in marketing, and for the last year and a half, maybe even 2 years, has really put together some amazing marketing campaigns for this company. She is well respected by all her peers, and she cross-pollinates. She acts as a magician and walks between worlds with all different departments within the organization to really make these marketing campaigns extremely effective, because you have to get product involved, you have to get budgeting and finance involved for this to be successful. You have to get your customers involved if you're doing marketing that coalesces with a customer. And she's been really successful at that. She gets promoted. There's an opportunity that comes open. She gets promoted. She applies. She gets accepted. Now, Jane is really successful at doing all of those things. She's very successful at marketing. She's very successful with the details of those campaigns. However, Jane has had no leadership training. And she's now in a position where she has people that used to do what she does, or that do what she does, and she used to do what they do, who report to her. And so it's very easy to fall into the habit of, I did it this way, you all have to do it this way. And it's really a tough position to be in if you've never been in that position before. And that's where a lot of managers, early entry-level managers, are finding themselves. Some are finding themselves being promoted into positions that they were suited for the previous position, but the leadership aspect of it, they're just not suited for, and they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to get people to work together, to get different personalities to work together on the same team. So that's a common thing that happens in what we're going to talk about today, because marketing is a skill, but so is leadership. And I will go further and say that leadership is a meta skill. And a meta skill impacts other skills. And so this is a key important fact here. For example, if you're a good student and you are really good at organizing your thoughts, you're really good at note-taking, that skill will impact any subject you apply that to. That's a meta skill. Organization, preparation, these are meta skills, because if you prepare well for something, you're going to prepare in other aspects of your life. You're going to have that skill set to take with you no matter what the subject is. So that's how leadership should be viewed. It needs to be viewed as a meta skill. Leadership is a meta skill, and a meta skill impacts all of your other skills. Leadership, really empowers your team and your organization. And the better you get, the better everyone around you will get. Because when you apply leadership principles, other people will benefit from that. Now, again, a typical manager gets promoted in their role not because of their leadership skills, but because of the skills that they were perceived as having for that previous role. And that can be very specific. Now, what are the benefits of leadership training? Well, if you're a new leader, you're going to benefit because you likely don't have leadership training in your background. There's also leadership practice that you want to put into play, and we'll get into what leadership training really involves. But you're really going on what your previous experiences are. So if you had role models to look up to, like your parents or maybe teacher or a coach, then that's helpful to draw on. But new leaders can benefit. If you're early and mid-career, you can benefit because, as we talked about in the beginning, 60% of leaders have had no leadership training, and that really falls upon the organization. So you're probably in a career where you at least have to be a self-starter when it comes to your leadership training, or there's none at all. Aspiring entrepreneurs, if you're going to be somebody who creates their own business, creates their own product, has several businesses, you're going to want to get better skilled at leadership. So leadership training is going to be important to you because as you grow, your time and the demands on your time are going to be more and more, and you're going to have less and less time. So what you'll have to do in order to grow the businesses properly, you'll have to rely and trust other people in key roles that you used to do, and that takes leadership training. Your team, the people you work with, and yourself will all benefit because it's reciprocal. Because if you grow your skill set, if you grow, your organization will grow, and everyone around you will grow. Now, what do you get out of leadership training? Well, you can get assessments. You can figure out where you are at in terms of your leadership style, in terms of your personality, in terms of your strengths and your weaknesses. That's a big aspect of it. We do that with Lead Like a Magician, where we assess where are you in terms of your strengths and weaknesses on the elements of leadership, like how well do you communicate, what aspects of communication could you get better at. So assessment is a big part of it. Practical skills that you'll get, and practicing those skills. When you have leadership training like we offer, it's something that you can get. It's a safe space to try new things because when you're trying something new, it can be very daunting to do that in an environment where this is your work. There's your salary's on the line, your promotion is on the line, your job itself is on the line. It's easier if you have training to be able to put yourself in situations that where these changes can be made and you can get instant feedback. And that's really the last thing is feedback. So there's going to be great content. You're going to learn something new, but you'll be able to practice it and put it in play, which is really key. Now, we talked in our last episode about the elements of a leader. The magician archetype uses the elements. That's air, which is communication, fire, which is discipline. You also have water, which is reflection, feedback, and you have earth, which is mentorship. So your ultimate goal as a leader is to go beyond your own self-fulfillment and where you want to end up, and this will take time, it's a journey, is you want to end up at the place where you are helping other leaders grow. So that's your ultimate aim if you want a career in leadership, because that's how you're going to be able to go to the next level and really leave a legacy with your leadership. And so time and position doesn't really mean quality leadership experience. So if we go back to the beginning where there's not a lot of training offered, if you're spending 5 years in a role where you are viewed as a leader, but you're not actually implementing new strategies, you're not learning anything about leadership, you're not changing how you are, you're not growing, then that's time. I won't say it's wasted, but it's an opportunity because 5 years as a leader doesn't necessarily mean 5 years as the best leader, if that makes sense. So time and position does not equal quality leadership experience. Only quality leadership experience really equals quality leadership experience. So training makes the quality of that experience better because you get to put those skills in play. You become more valuable to your team. You become better. You become more valuable to your organization. And you become more valuable and attractive to career opportunities in the marketplace. You know, we live in a world now where you're not going to be with the same company most likely for 30 years, for 40 years. You're going to probably have the opportunity to move to different companies. Companies are bought and sold every day. Those companies that are bought and sold are merged, and then they may last or they may get absorbed, and those resources get added into the already existing company that they were bought. So even if the company is super successful, there's still no guarantee that you're going to be at that company for that long of a time. So growing your leadership skills on your own, as Ethan Bernstein had stated in the beginning here, leaders are made, not born, and they are increasingly self-made. You have to be self-made to be attractive to the marketplace. And that's really taking your future in your hands and in your family's future in your hands. So we talked about a lot, so now it's time for the takeaway. A few key insights from today's discussion that you can start to apply today. The first one that I have for you is, again, there is an increasing number of leaders in positions that are not as effective as they could be because they lack the training to be effective leaders. And if you take control of your leadership and your training and raise your skills, you will raise your value in the marketplace. And the other takeaway that I have is that leadership is a meta skill, and everyone around you will benefit from this from you growing as a leader, and everyone around you will benefit in just about every aspect of your life. I have a saying that I use that's not mine, but how you do anything is the way you do everything, or the way you do everything is how you do anything. And that really means that you know, if you're going to be somebody who prepares in one aspect of your life, you'll prepare in another. If you're going to be organized in one aspect of your life, you're going to be organized in another. If you're going to be a good communicator in one area, you'll be a good communicator in another. So if you grow your leadership training and grow your communication skills, for example, that will help you in all aspects of your life. Thank you for listening to this episode of Lead Like a Magician. If you found value in today's discussion, please share it with a fellow leader. If you'd like to bring the entertaining and educational Lead Like a Magician keynote and workshop to your team, just shoot me an email at Braden, BRADEN, @BradenDaniels.com. And until next time, Remember to lead like a magician.